And hello and welcome to the Big Data LDN event here. We are live on this Bright Talk session, all about achieving better and faster analytical insights by optimizing your data delivery. It's been a really busy event and I'm really pleased here to be joined by Ted Orme, who is our Head of Data Integration Strategy from EMEA. I'm Adam Mayer from Qlik. We're just going to have this little fireside chat about how you can get the best out of all this.
Thanks,
So
Adam.
Ted, welcome. So let's kick off then. You're from Attunity, obviously. What is really driving Attunity's success now?
So thanks, Adam. So really, Attunity being well known and are the leaders of CDC technology. That's really the building block of everything that we do. That stands for change data capture.
Right.
Capturing the changes out of operational systems, Oracle and SQL and DB2, and then making that data available. But people don't just wake up and say, I'm going to buy a data integration product. You know, it's just, it's all about the themes and the trends that are changing the way people are using data as an within their organization today. And we see three big trends that have driven sort of change. First one is like an app modernization pace. And this is all of us now today. You can get out your phone, and I'm sure you've got a banking app, you've got insurance, you've got things, you've got those modern applications that are built in the cloud, in microservices and the like, but they need the data. They need real-time data within those applications in order for you to service those processes. And helping organizations like Swiss Life or Zurich, streaming data out of big mainframe applications, bring it into cloud to do things better with data, do more interesting things with the data, to service their customers, to be more a data-centric organization.
Right.
The second trend that we see is the rise as, it's the new start of data warehousing platforms. So data warehousing got quite a bad press over the last 10 years or so of not being able to show value and not doing, it's complex and difficult and ETL processes, whatever. But the rise of cloud and that separation of compute and storage, the demand of what you can try and do with cloud, and the rise of Snowflake and Redshift and SQL Data Warehouse and now GCP with their data plot. This is more of a managed service, data as a managed service in cloud infrastructure. It means actually the organizations are going back to doing the right things with warehousing in a cloud environment to answer those questions that they couldn't do before. So the complexity went away. And the third area is the next generation of data lakes. And again, on-premise data lakes struggles because it was complex. You know, the open source Apache things, you had to have 30 different products and applications, Zookeeper just to look after them all. I mean, it was complex, it was complex. You had to be really the high-end IT, large organization to invest the skill sets in order to really drive value. But nowadays, Databricks on Azure, on Microsoft, you can bring Cloudera on multiple clouds. Most of the data lakes are then either just on S3 on AWS or ADLS on the Azure stack. These are easy way of consuming the big picture of a data lake. That schema on read over schema on write methodology of discovering the data, getting the data in the right format so you can do more, hand data into your data scientists so you can empower them to run and do things with that, with the data within an organization. These are the trends that we're seeing. These are the trends that then drive a newer way of working, a newer data integration strategy. And we've been lucky enough to be at the right place at the right time with technology that is needed by the industry to help them on that journey, to take them on that journey to a newer analytical platform.
Awesome. So, obviously recently Qlik acquired Attunity. Could you maybe just give us an overview on the reasons behind that?
So Qlik have been well known as being leaders. They've been by Magic Quadrant, they've been leaders in the analytic workspace for 9 years in a row. And they have their uniqueness about how they have made data usable to their communities and their users. And they led the way in what was then the second generation of analytics. But now within Qlik we see a new wave, this third generation, and it splits within three. It splits within those to understand. The first part of that is about a sort of a democratization of data, making data usable and available to anybody within the organization. And that's where Attunity sits and complement that message. But also they complement that within the sort of, with what they call their augmented intelligence, which is just blending both the power of Qlik, but bringing AI into the mix as well. AI is never going to replace human being, the human insight,
Right,
the
so
human
not the answer
intuition of
to
those things,
everything, yeah.
but by enhancing it and bringing the power of the platform, the power of technology into the hands of the users, that's really where Qlik are leading the way. And the third part of that third generation is around is about adoption, is about embedded, it's about using the data. And here, again, Qlik are leading the way in making data usable to the business. Whether or not that's a hospital doctor going around the wards looking at using an iPad to consume data, or a police officer understanding the data within his within his local patch about hotspots. Those individuals, I don't think they think themselves as being a data scientist. I don't think themselves as being a part of a data journey.
Right.
But they are doing things with data that is changing the way in which they can contribute to the bigger picture. And that overview, Attunity fits within that message perfectly to complement the bigger Qlik story about bringing raw data out of operational systems, bring it in, making that ready, and then driving insight out of that. And I think that's where the Qlik overall platform, where Attunity are now part of that data integration division, really is helping the big picture.
Definitely, yeah. So it's that full end-to-end solution to the data and analytics supply chain, which is awesome. So obviously you're very successful within Attunity, and you've got your own group of customers. How well received has the acquisition been with your customer base?
No, just really well. It really fits well, and it fits well in a again, it's a methodology, isn't it? That sounds really just like big picture. I'm now helping the strategy within Qlik and within our customers in helping them do more with data. And now let's take an example of one of our larger, very large organisations that use both Qlik and Attunity within Commerce Bank. So Commerce Bank are a very stable, very conservative banking organisation, but they knew that they needed to adapt and change in a way in which they can drive and use data as an asset within their organisation. Right. And they went to the open market and they looked at it, and they brought in a new senior director, Karen Tomer, out of Google, out of California, and he came in and driving change. And what I mean by change, I like the phrase where culture eats strategy, in that if you can empower your employees and people within the organization to do more and take empowerment within that to drive initiatives, then all the way, whether or not you're a small person within the organization or leading strategy, if you all have that shared goal, that's where data can do more. And Gartner recently sort of brought out a newer methodology about data ops. This is the sort of blending of DevOps and data, the sort of explore your data more, play with the data more, fail fast, do more with it, make data usable to all people within the organization. So that then when you're doing something right, and that should be highlighted and explored, but likewise you shouldn't be lost in often the swamp that is often data integration. And that data ops methodology and things is something that from Attunity, and I think Qlik can lead that way, and an organization like Commerce Bank were really keen to embrace both sides of our message, bringing that together to give an overall platform about helping an organization like that move into a data-centric next generation.
Yeah, and start transforming. Great example. So, talking about that then, that using the kind of the data integration platform that we've got now, can you give us an overview then of what is Qlik's data integration platform now?
Sure. So Qlik now has this. There's a multiple portfolio of products that all sit within the what we call from raw data to ready to insight. So, but if we break down effectively about what they sit and how the value, they all independently live within their own ecosystem, but end to end deliver on the data. And it all starts in the building block of CDC, change data capture. So this is it's a very technical sort of sell in many ways. The systems that organizations that run the business, Oracle and SQL and DB2 and mainframes, SAP HANA. These are the large transactional systems that run a bank, insurance, retail, whatever industry you're in. They are owned by IT, and the database admins, things, they're going to look after those servers. They'll have their arms around them, and they'll put up their walls, and they'll say these are the most important systems that the whole organizations have. And the analytics teams want that data. They want that data. And CDC is the most efficient way of getting access to that. We don't need to install anything on production systems, but we're sitting alongside it just reading transactional logs, and as we're reading that log and the transactions are coming through and the commits comes in, we see the commit and then we fire, we transfer, we create a data pipeline out of production into target environments. And now there are 3 types of endpoints that we support within the platform itself. So what data do you need, in what format, and why? So where do you want that data? The first endpoint is simple replication. I say simple, but that's the sort of Oracle to SQL Server, SAP to MySQL and the like. So we create an ODS, a real-time, transactionally consistent copy of your production systems, all within a transactional. That's OLTP to OLTP systems. But actually, that's only half the challenge. Right. If people ask me, are you an ETL vendor? I'll say, well, yes, because they've got me in the right space, but actually we do EL and then we automate the T. Okay. What people really need is they want data in SQL Data Warehouse, in a data mart, they want it in Snowflake, they want it in Redshift, they want it in a format that is usable to the business. We make data available in a usable format. And actually, when Teradata launched their first data warehouse in about 1980, I think they sold to Wells Fargo in 81 when they got their first lot of VC, they created an industry. They created this industry of OLTP transactional systems here and a warehouse here, and you had a whole industry of are you either Inman or Kimball's sort of methodology of data warehousing and then structures within that. Attunity are leading the way of automating that process. We can take real-time data out of transactional systems, land it in cloud data warehouses like Snowflake, like Redshift, like SQL Data Warehouse, like BigQuery, and then we automate the T. Right. Data warehouse automation through a model-driven design. We can import that from CA Irwin or from other ones. Auto-generate, push-down ETL, auto-generating the code to create that third normal form and automatically create those data marts to the business, end to end. Uniqueness of flowing data from operational systems all the way to a data mart. And the third endpoint that we support, again, what data do you need in what format, is the data lake. At the end of the day, a data lake is just a file system. Whether or not that's on S3, with then running EMR, whether or not that's on ADLS, in Microsoft ADLS Gen 2, running Hadoop against that, or whether or not you're going to be running in Dataproc on Google or Cloudera, or now with Databricks and Databricks Delta. But just delivering files is also not enough. This is the pain that you get when people say it's now a data swamp. Yeah. Just file after file after file, and it's delivered, and it's like, what data am I looking at? What is useful to me? So here we also run code directly on the lake itself, running either a Hive or a Spark to bring the data back again and usable to the business. Usable data from all the way from the transactional systems, all the way to creating either an ODS, an operational data store, the last updated transaction, an HDS, which is a type 2 slowly changing dimension, to and a from field of all of your transactional data, or a snapshot. You know, what did my SAP look like on January the 1st, February the 1st, things like that. So usable to the end users itself. But this is where then data scientists can come and see it and play with the data, discovery, do understanding of just, you know, I don't yet know what my full questions are. You start querying the lake environment, that schema on read methodology, before you go into the full warehouse. But that's still not the real end-to-end story, because actually when I say making data available, making it usable, I'm talking about an IT. I'm talking about, this is an IT sort of space that they're bringing the data. The business still doesn't understand structures, doesn't understand all of the BSEG tables about SAP or the mainframe tables. The business understands a catalog. And this is where Qlik also have an end-to-end with their QDC, their Qlik data catalog, in order, Catalyst, to bring a catalog to the business to understand the structures, where you can publish the data and you can profile it, you can set up rules to understand the structure of the data, is it cleansed, is it fit for business, and make that, and that then is where the business can come on and see the catalog, and from there published to Qlik or other analytics products. The catalog becomes the gateway between these two worlds of data and analytics.
Awesome, awesome. So yeah, so it's really sort of taking care of the heavy lifting part from the data ops teams, and then also making it accessible, that data in a ready-made form via this catalog. So when we talk about the Qlik Data Catalyst and the catalog, then who do you see as owning the catalog, and is it really truly self-service?
Yeah, these are. Here we are at a big data event, and people are coming in. We don't know whether or not someone is from IT or from the business, and everyone has an idea of what a catalog might be. And typically in our experience, we're seeing the catalog as being something as that gateway solution, that gateway environment, because big organizations, IT typically, data is seen as an asset, as a thing, and they need to offer some SLA often. It's an SLA that the business says, I need this data once a day, or I need this data every 5 minutes. So the business are asking of data, and IT are saying, okay, I can provision this, and there's sort of conflicts about how they can do this. And that conflict is where the catalog brings clarity, brings a service there to consume the data that IT provide and the business can consume. So we see that as being something that IT would own. They own the structure, but then there are three sort of personas that would interact with the catalog. And typically within organizations, it's someone within the CDO team. That's right. Those organizations that have that visibility of what data is. Because the first part is defining the processes, defining the sort of, these are the data that we own, and publishing that and bringing that to the catalog. But then the critical person is also called like a data steward. The steward then understands a little bit more from the business. They also understand about GDPR and compliance, who is allowed to see data. Is it available? Should it be available? Do I want to set certain obfuscation rules? Should I lock down this, that it's got sensitive data that isn't allowed there? So building that stewardship of that stewardship, is that a word? I'm just made up a word, I think.
I'll take it, we'll write that down.
Of understanding that data, of where that sits. And then finally, the business is the consumer. The business comes in, and if I'm coming in to understand, I want to ask questions around sales and how, and revenue and things like that, and I come to a catalog and I can see a simple shopping experience that says, this is sales data that is also used by the CFO, that's pretty trusted. I know that he's running his analytics against that, and then I'm going to also use that as my starting point. I can sort of buy it, purchase it, take it from the catalog, and then use that in whatever analytics tool that I want. And that's where and we will say the end-to-end flow, that we will then publish it directly to Qlik. We Qlik Sense, start running application and there. But if you're using Tableau, we can publish and put to Tableau or to Power BI or to whatever. The catalog sits independent of an independent data strategy.
And that's a really good important point, isn't it? Is that for when organisations are sort of defining their data strategy and their analytics strategy, it's great to have that flexibility to join them when it makes sense, but also support that openness when it doesn't. So that's a great point. And I think it's also important to note when you talked about those three roles that the Qlik Data Catalyst kind of covers the governance piece of that as well, isn't it? So each of those roles only get access, or you can set it up, they only get access to
100%, because data, even though we want to be open and things and say data, get it into the hands of employees, you have to have control. Because trust is, and governance and trust in that that this data is coming from this source system and these applications, and you can see what ETL or what processes have gone through to get there. All of that should be visible to the consumer. When I come to take some data, I need to know where it's come from, what process, and can I trust it? That again is a key component of that.
Absolutely. And so we mentioned about the fact that Data Catalyst is independent from, if you're a Tableau house, you can publish in there, Power BI and Qlik as well, which is great. So you've got that sort of openness and flexibility there. But for the Qlik customers that want to get value out of this, one of the proprietary files that Qlik has is QBD files that can, our sort of format for caching the data. Could our Qlik customers use Qlik Data Catalyst to manage their QBD files? They have quite a large estate, for example.
And this is where, if we replay a little bit to understand what is the key message that Qlik wants to be able to articulate about being open and independent. Open and independent with data. Our customers are only there because it's their data and they're trying to drive value out of their data. We don't own their data. We're not telling them that this is us. It's their data. Now, if they're using our products and our tools in order to manipulate and change and create other formats and things, we shouldn't be locking them in and say this is a black box or just says, and this is where not only are we telling people that we're open, we're proving it with our products and technologies. The QVD files and the estates that our customers have with those files, being able to expose and make that data available both to other teams and cataloging it so that other people can see the investments that are there, but also publish to other BI tools and other environments. This is our sort of putting our mouth where, where our word where our mouth is, and really sort of saying, being open with data, both an open data strategy, open analytics strategy on any platform. We will be committing to that, and right now today, these are products that are available that you can do that.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, yeah, it's not any future state, it's absolutely available today. So Jen, just to reiterate, in order to use Qlik's data integration platform, you gave a very good overview of then. Just to clarify, do I, as a customer, have to have Qlik Sense or be an existing Qlik customer to take advantage of any aspect of that?
So I'd love to be able to sell you the vision of an end-to-end portfolio, from raw data to insights to from analytics to insight, end-to-end. But each component here that we have is independent, and each component can stand alone. We have customers that are streaming data out of SAP to Kafka, building microservices and applications that have nothing to do with a cataloging or user or things, they're business applications. We have users that have just a standalone catalog, understanding all of their structures of data, bringing data in from external and internal files and publishing that to other tools and things. And we have lots of customers with Qlik Sense that aren't using any of our integration products. Each one of these within the portfolio is independent. Each one of these can stand alone and show value to an organization, but we believe that end-to-end story from bringing that raw data, the raw data out of those transactional systems, streaming it to any platform. And again, those platforms, we can also read once and write many, so you can land it into Kafka, into 2 clouds and a data warehouse, then catalog all of those and then publish those to each line of business, however that may be. This is where we can help organizations and really bringing the data to the teams in a more efficient way so that they can drive innovation and change using the full portfolio that we offer.
Excellent, excellent. That's a really, really insightful chat there, Ted. I really appreciate that, and a great overview of the whole data integration platform. So, yeah, just leaves me to say thank you very much for that. It's a really good overview in terms of why Attunity and Qlik are quite a good fit. So that really just leaves me to say thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to learn more and stay up to date with Qlik and our innovations over the entire product portfolio, you can sign up to what's called a Qlik Insider program. So we have quarterly webinars that you can get the lowdown and stay in the know, as it were. And if you've never tried Qlik and you want to know more about it in terms of Qlik Sense and from the analytics perspective, you can go on to our website, qlik.com, and you can actually get access to your own cloud account for Qlik Sense Business for free for 30 days, and also learn about the entire Qlik portfolio on qlik.com as well. So that's it from me. Thank you, Ted, and thank you for watching.